Welcome to another episode of Dad Can We Talk. I'm your host, Anthony Ray, and this is episode 32 of season 4. And today, man, I am so excited. I am so ready to sit down and talk with this father. It's been a long time coming. He's been on my radar for a minute. And today, y'all know how we do it on Dad Can We Talk. We gonna keep it real. We're going to talk all things fatherhood, and we're going to get into some good stuff on today, man. So for all my listeners out there, I thank y'all for y'all support. But today I want you to welcome to the show Mr. Ryan Jones. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I appreciate the opportunity today. I mean, I've been looking forward to. I've been seeing you. I live on the west, and you over there, I think, on the east. So just seeing you and seeing what you're doing, like, man, I got to go on this podcast. You know?
yes, sir, man. Yeah, it's definitely a long time coming, man. This man is he's the creator of Be a Better Father, and we're gonna get into that today, man. Y'all be on the lookout for what he has going on, but we're gonna get into that. But y'all know how we like to start it on Dad Can We Talk. I want to take it back, and I like to ask with my first question, what was your relationship like with your dad?
Well, my dad worked a lot, so he wasn't really there. Mm-hmm. So he was, I think from his standpoint, as long as he went to work and provided for us, that was his perspective when it came to being a father. But I always had coaches around me, I had uncles, and just had that village, that community type feel to it. So it was a mixture of different males in my community that helped mold me. But I won't take anything away from him. He was just doing what his dad maybe taught him.
Yeah.
So, I just found a way God enlisted other men in my life to help me along the way.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah. And I think with my dad's generation and your dad's generation, because what my dad was he graduated like 80s, late 80s. So I know your dad was probably like 70s, 60s. Mm-hmm. And I think those generations then, that was their thing working. It was, I think it takes for us to really talk with them. I think, your dad's generation was more to working. Yeah. I think my dad's generation, a lot of our dads were they grew up in that crack era.
Yeah.
So, a lot of them were on drugs and ended up, getting incarcerated for dealings with drugs and all of that stuff. A lot of them were a part of that mass incarceration, man. And I think that's where a lot of the past generations, they did. I don't really be liking to say, I really don't like saying they failed, because once you really talk with them and understand what they had going on, like you said, you couldn't really fault them, because a lot of times that might be something that your dad learned from his dad.
Yeah, the generational thing.
It's a generational thing, man. And I just think sometimes it's warranted, but sometimes I think it's like, man, once you really sit down and talk with them and see where they were and things that they went through, you get a better understanding. And I honestly don't think a lot of people do get there with their dads. And I think that's a big thing, man. But knowing seeing what your dad, how the relationship you had with your dad, how would you say that affects your relationship now that you have your own children?
Well, with me, I always observe different behaviors, just growing up to now being an adult and being a father now, just understanding the importance of being present.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be like 80%. If a father can be present, that's vital. I mean, if your kid in school, taking that time to sacrifice, I'll give you a quick example. Now I work at The Rock, but prior to comes to Rock, I used to work at a place named called Meridian here in Gainesville.
Yeah, I know Meridian.
So I used to use my sick time and vacation time just to go volunteer at The Rock, to see what The Rock is all about, but also be there with my kids. Because you catch yourself being there with your kids, but at the end of the day, you fathering somebody else's kids while you're there. So I kind of caught hold of that and just ran with that.
That's real.
So,
and how important would you think that is? Would you say that is, the fact that a lot of other children don't have fathers, either you know, for whatever reason, their father might not be as present as he could be or should be, or maybe, you know, they're just some people have they've experienced death with their fathers. How important would you say it is for us to be fathers to other children in the community?
Oh, that's vital, because, you know, at the end of the day, there is a lot of fathers missing from the homes. But I think it's not a book on fatherhood, but it's about, are you pouring into other people's kids just like yours? Like, I want to know my kids' friends. I want to talk to them. I want to lift them up. I want to motivate them. You know, it's not they walking through the house ain't saying, no, I need, what's your name?
Yeah.
You know, you speaking when you come in the house, like getting in, you know, build a relationship with them. Because at the end of the day, these peers are around your kids.
That's real.
So you want to open that door up that they can talk to Mr. Jones about anything too. If you over here spending time over here, I want to build a healthy relationship, which get to know you as well as you get to know me, because anything could be going on.
That's real.
And your parents are not there. You might be spending the weekend over here. And I don't want all that stuff bottled up for the whole weekend. We can nip it in the bud now, and we good to go on Monday. So
yeah,
that's
real.
So, yeah.
And being with you working in that school system, do you see that a lot? You know, a lot of fatherlessness?
Oh, yeah, you see it a lot, because you always see the single moms dropping the kids off and being there. And you say to yourself, man, what a dad at?
Yeah.
You know, what a dad said. The dad working, the dad absent, what's going on? But you see it a lot, but that's kind of like being a teacher, that light comes on, like, man, I don't never see the father, but I can be that father figure.
That's right.
Let alone being a teacher or a coach. You that father figure. You a male figure in that child's life. So
that's real.
They get to
that's
see
real.
that.
So how many children do you have in total?
I have 3.
3. And what, all boys? And you
No,
have a girl,
I have a girl. She's the oldest. She's 22. She's a senior now, Alabama A&M.
Ooh,
Yeah. So, you know, she was the first one made me grow into being a man. So
okay.
Then I have one as a freshman at the Rock, and also a 4th grader.
Okay.
So yeah. So I have 3.
So you went through the college process. How
Yeah.
was that? You know, having a child transition from high school into college.
I mean, it was tough to a certain degree, but, you know, me and my wife pride ourselves on being great parents and making the sacrifice, and also instilling good values and good morals into our daughter. So I think with that was, she wanted to go to school in Florida. I was like, no, I mean, there's other places out here that's recruiting.
Yeah.
She ran track. So I was like, hey, go, you can always come back home. So she made the final decision to go to Alabama A&M. That's probably one of the best things. She's a senior now. So I'm like, man, I was 21 and I had her now. She's a senior in college. So, I mean, within that, that's amazing, you know, as a father to see her being a senior. So now she's a template for the other 2 behind her.
Yeah.
So
that's real, man.
So.
That's real. How and that's what a HBCU too. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
So what made you guys go in that direction?
Well, my wife, she went for undergrad. She went to Alcorn University down in Mississippi.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think one of the things with my daughter when she grew up, she was just around all blacks.
Yeah.
You know, I think she felt comfortable with that. I mean, you have kids that may be comfortable around other cultures, other races, but we didn't think that she felt that comfortable around other races. So my wife went to HBCU, so like, hey, it's only right. Let's see, can we, you know, push her towards that way. And so she picked, you know, Alabama A&M. So I think that's a great fit for her now. So
okay.
So,
man, that's what's up, man. I didn't know you had one that whole. Okay.
Yeah.
So now so you got one that just entered high school.
Yeah, he's a freshman, yes.
And he's playing basketball, right?
Yes. Yeah, RJ's playing basketball.
Talk about that, man. Like, how is it? Because, see, me, I got, you know, my oldest is 7.
Yeah.
So I ain't really, you know, I be always thinking like, man, I wonder how that's going to be, you know, dealing with that teenage process and when they want to do sports. Like, how is it just dealing with, for one, I want to ask you this. How is it dealing with the teenager, man?
Dealing with the teenagers, you gotta remember, we was once teenagers.
Yeah.
So now we're looking at a time where the internet is there, so they get exposed and they get experience in a lot of other different stuff. So I think you gotta also find a way to meet them at their level, meet them where they at. Because I mean, it's from the music they listen to, the TV shows they watch. You might have to sit down with them, watch those movies, listen to the music they listening to. Because you got to relate. You can't hide it from them. If you hide it from them, they're going to sneak and do it. So thing is, what kind of music you like, you know? You sit down with them, listen to that music. Why you like this song? But just start that thing. Like, it's great what you doing. Can you talk? You got to sit down and talk to your kids. If you don't, somebody else is going to talk to him. So the teenager, I think it's just being involved.
Yeah.
Just being involved, being there. And that's one of the reasons I started coaching years ago, so I can be with the boys. Mm-hmm. You know, my daughter ran track. I wasn't a track coach, but basketball, I played basketball and baseball in college, so in high school. So the thing now, every time they played a sport, I was at least the coach or I was volunteering coaches. So I think being there, the present, like I said before, 80% I think is that present. Being there. And I mean, it's a great opportunity to be there at the Rock. I mean, RJ's a pretty good basketball player, got a long way to go, but to be in, 8th grader playing on the national level last year was great. You know, but I was there with him when he's with juniors and seniors, and he was in 8th grade. So it's like walking him through this whole process. Like, man, next year you're going to be a freshman. So you're in high school. Ain't no more that middle school thing. So it's high school. So, I mean, it's been great. I mean, being assistant coach on there. And my role right now on the coaching staff is director of player care, where I look at the nutrition. I help them with their recovering from injuries. Make sure I follow with their teachers with their grades. Assist them in building a healthy relationship with their teachers. So that's my role. And also doing laundry, being a manager. I think, just to show them, hey, it don't matter your role. Everybody has a role on this team. If it's my role being a manager, I'm going to make the best of it. So just teaching them, understanding their roles and stuff like that. So it's been great.
That's real, man. And I think that's so important to have. I think it's important to have that someone there that cares.
Yes.
Because I think from over the years, from what I've seen, sometimes even when a kid is playing sport, they don't necessarily have that. They don't necessarily have those father figures in place, even in the program. And it's a sad thing because, me being from Gainesville, I've seen it a lot. A lot of kids that were like some of the kids, I know they should have been in college right now playing.
For sure.
And then, years down the road, I see them and I'm like, bro, you playing still? And they like, just they got caught up in the streets.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, how did the coaches let you go? Someone should have. I mean, and I know we can't necessarily hold someone's hand, and ultimately it's the student's choice.
Yeah.
But man, like how can you let some of these kids go, knowing what they're going through? Because a lot of these kids, they were popular, and you ain't. Everybody know what you got going on, for the most part. Mm-hmm. And especially if you a coach, you should know that. Yeah,
and you have to. I think you have to take it beyond the sport. As a coach, you're a therapist, you're a counselor, all that now. And I think as these young men and older generation, I call them the rookies and the veteran coaches, you got to go beyond that sport.
That's real.
And that's one thing I like about being a coach. Man, them boys can come over anytime. They can spend a night. They can eat whatever. When they step into that house, they my son.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? I look at it, they my son. Y'all make yourself at home. I'm not finna babysit. Y'all know everything at. I mean, you here, make yourself at home. Because we recruit international players, let alone other kids from different states. So when they come here, our job, I think, as coaches, is make them feel comfortable. They're away from their parents, away from their family. What can we do as coaches to make them comfortable and want to be here in Gainesville?
That's real.
So, so I pride myself on that, man. I try my best to try to help them do anything that I can, any situation that I can. Because guess what? Hey, my son might go through the same situation down the road. He being a freshman, we working with these sophomore, juniors, and seniors. Hey, you may battle something that's coming along. Within that, gives me experience. So in case he do deal with that stuff, I find myself being prepared for that.
That's real, man.
Yes.
That's real. What is one of the most important lessons that you've learned from fatherhood? For what you've been a father for 21 years? What's one of the most important lessons that you've learned in these 21 years?
Just not sugarcoating things. I mean, you have to be real with your kids. I was reading a book years ago. I forgot the title, but as a father, you have to be the first one to talk to your kids about something. And if you don't, it might be another person, but that person's word is going to stick stronger than yours. Mm-hmm. So I think it just, from experience, talking to them about everything. Being the first one to talk about situations, about issues, how to overcome adversity, man, how you do it. Mm-hmm. I think it's all about behaviors too. Your kids watching you. How do you behave? when you're not around them and when you're around them. What is your behavior? Because guess what? They're gonna pick up on your behavior. And it's funny. I talk to my wife all the time. Look at my son mannerism. He acting like me, which you can only laugh about it. Because they picking up behaviors because that's what they observe when they're around. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just all about talking to them, being firsthand those conversations.
That's real, man. That's some good advice for y'all fathers out there listening, man. Take heed.
Be first to talk about those situations and those adversities. It happens.
That's real.
And one of the things that with my sons I talk about, they being comfortable in your skin. Being a young black male in America today, it's tough. It don't stop when you're an adult. It starts when you're younger. So just teaching them to be comfortable in their skin. Make sure you're making good choices and good decisions. Making sure you're putting yourself in the right situations too.
That's real.
Know right from wrong. No, and that's a consequence. If you do that, it's consequences out there. Okay. And sometimes mom and dad can't come to your rescue. Understand that. But if something going on, come talk to us. We're going to be there regardless. But if something going on, come talk to us first and we can go from there.
That's real. Mm-hmm. That's real, man. And I was watching something last night. I forgot something on Netflix. Uh-huh. But it was talking about screen time with kids. And it gave stats about young girls, I think from the age of 10 to 14 and then 15 to 18, about how much that can affect them and how much it's affected the suicide rates of young girls and, them cutting themselves, all of that, hurting themselves.
Yes.
And I was telling my wife, I'm like, man, Azriel will be 10 in a little bit. Yeah. And I'm kind of just me having those conversations. We talk all the time. I like to sit her down and really talk with her. And she keeps it honest with me. And she's always, she'll tell me, if someone at school made her feel bad or picked at her or something like that. And I'm always, trying to give her that reassurance that, man, baby, I love the way you look. Yeah. I love your hair. Mm-hmm. I love, she said something was on her face, little spots or something. I'm like, okay, I love that too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what anyone says about that. And it watching that documentary last night, it was talking about how, they get on social media and stuff and people might say stuff to them. And I'm like, I don't know about letting her get on that stuff, because I know she's sensitive, and she'll tell me herself. She always says, Daddy, and when he said that to me at school today, I was sad because I'm very sensitive. And I'd be like, she just be honest. And I'm like, okay, I understand, and I know the world that she's going to grow up in is totally different than what I grew up in, from when I was in second grade. That was late 90s,
sure.
Yeah. So it's a totally different world, man. And I'm like, I just think like you said, I think that's a very good point you make. We must sit down and talk with our children and really help them to understand, one, the world that they're growing up in, and be honest with them. Like you say, no sugarcoating. No. We can't sugarcoat this world, especially for our kids. Yes. And I let her know all the time, baby, it's some mean people out here.
Oh, yeah.
And they only get meaner when you get older. So,
that's it.
You don't listen to what other people say about you, because people are going to say some mean things. They're going to say ugly things. They're going to call you names. Mm-hmm. And it is what it is, but you got to know how to know. You always got to know that what they're saying ain't true about you. You don't ever believe that stuff about yourself. And, I look at that type of stuff, especially having these little girls, and I got, my one son. But I just always think about my girls like, man, they are very, very, very sensitive. Yeah. And I try to make sure I have those talks with them and keep them, uplifted and reassure them that, baby, you beautiful.
Yeah, you make some good points. Just having my daughter 22 now, it's like, as she was growing up, making sure you tell her she's beautiful. She's amazing. You're a queen. You know what I'm saying? All that is vital, because as a father, you telling her that. She's going to believe that. So you have this other boys or whoever out there saying these things like, that ain't me. My daddy said I'm beautiful. So she going to believe that and run with that. And gladly, you know, with her being almost 10, you having those conversations with her because now she know, I can go to my dad. He called me ugly. Daddy, this boy called me ugly at school, and I just laughed it off.
Yeah.
Because I know you said I'm beautiful, so I'm gonna ride that to the end. So, I mean, we have to build confidence, and I mean, discipline and confidence and happiness starts at the home. You can't expect for them to get that in the community or wherever. You know, it has to start at home. If it don't start at home, it's gonna start somewhere, and it's probably not gonna start where you want it to start. Right. So it starts in the home.
That's real.
Yes.
That's real, man. If you could say, if there's any part of your parent, any skill, any parenting skill that you say that you could work on, what would be one thing where you know an area of your parenthood? Where would you say that you could use some work on?
Well, I think we can always, you know, with me personally, just continue to meet them where they at.
Yeah.
You know, just like any time in life, expectations goes up, expectations continue to go up. Like, it's funny, I always text my kids, you know, especially my daughter. It's about how can I be a better father?
Yeah.
You know, she always telling me, just believe in what you taught me. I'm going to go in and run. Because I'm always like, you know, like, oh, you doing this, you doing that. Daddy, slow down. I got this. You know, you got me to this point. Let me ride it out and show you. So I think by her doing that the other day, kind of like, man, the light is on. So I got to stop. You trying to reassure her, make sure. Because she's doing it. She is. I mean, I'm proud of her. I mean, she's on the dean list. Her grades and everything is tight. So, I mean, now it's just allowing her to just blossom, you know, and go from there. And she's old enough now, okay, now you come to me now and ask me, you know, if you have questions about different things. So I think now just allowing them to grow. You know, you want the best, you want them to be successful, but you must allow them to make mistakes. You know, and I think now it's just understanding that with the boys, allow them to make mistakes. You can't always come rescue them. You know, and I think I believe in the village concept, so just having the right people around them too that believe in what I'm in, allow them to fail. You see them, allow them to fail, but we're going to pick them up. Because if they don't fail, how you going to think they're going to get better? Failure and adversity comes with it. So, you know, you just got to continue to build that confidence. But I just think about allowing them to grow.
Yeah.
You know, because you can't stop certain things from happening. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So just allow them to grow.
That's real.
Yeah.
So I got a question. Because sometimes I think, you know, in my parenting, I be thinking, you know, like, so as they get older, do you know, when they're young, like, you know, mine are 7, 4, and 4.
Yes.
And at this age, you know, I'm real tough on them, you know, about a lot of stuff, you know, just trying to beat it into them, you know, just in their brain. You got to get this, you got to get this, you got to get this. As they get older, do you stop that? Do you continue to like try to get, or do you take your hands off a little bit, you know?
Well, I mean, I think a little bit of both, but the older they get, now you can give them examples. Yeah. Okay? If I told you not to touch those cookies, and I walk out the room, you touch those cookies, then you get a toothache or something. Okay, I told you not to, you know, I'm giving them examples like this, what could happen. Yeah. You know, I think older you get, now you get to give them more real life examples. When they're younger, they really don't know. That's when you be like, no, I said don't do that. Now you have a timeout, you sit out now, or something like that. But the older they get, give them examples. Yeah. You know, like I tell my sons, they like playing basketball. If you don't stretch, you don't ice, you don't take care of your body, hey, you're going to feel it the next day. So they know if they don't ice, they don't stretch, you're going to feel it the next day. Now you're injury prone now. So just finding those different examples, reality, showing them like, oh, this is an example right here. This is what could happen. But I think it's more giving them examples though. Yeah. You know, now you allowing them to grow in a sense, but also, hey, this the consequence, this the example. That's so real. Yeah, I think the older they get, you have to step back because you got to allow them to grow while they under your roof. Yeah. Because then you there to help guide them a little more and also picking them up, you know. But you got to let them grow, let them fail, you know. And I think as parents, yeah, we got to be happy with when they do stuff well, but we got to be happy with failure because when they fail, you get to see how they react to failure. If you just waking them go off to college to fail, you're not there. So at least under your roof, you know, okay, you miss a homework assignment or you miss practice, how you react to that. But at that point now, okay, you missed practice, so it's a consequence. You might not play your next game. Just giving those different examples experiences. Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, you got to give them examples that even being at 10, it's examples out there that 10-year-olds can get in trouble. 10-year-olds can do a lot of great things, but you got to give them those examples. What could happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Cause man, I'm just like sometimes I feel like I be too hard.
Yeah.
I just be and it's like I just be wanting them to get it sometimes, and it just be really feeling. And I understand the two youngest, especially, they're 4.
Yeah.
But, as real, I'm just, even today, just on it all day, man. You are 7 years old, man. You gotta start to just do. You gotta be that example. Everything you're doing, they're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't be wanting to feel like I'm always just on her, but I'm like, man, you gonna have to do better, baby. You gonna have to.
Yeah, and then the thing is, when you have multiple kids, each kid learns differently. So you got to understand what works for the young one may not work for the old one. So just finding that fine line, but also within that process, you got to always find time to praise her. If she's doing something for the younger siblings, doing something great, you got to praise her. Because the more you get on when she's not doing stuff, that's gonna get lost in the sauce. So now she's like, man, with my siblings, and daddy want me to do that. And you can't do all that. So it's all about, you got to praise her when she's doing stuff, reinforce, that good behavior too.
Yeah.
Because they learning like us. I mean, you think about it, we still learning as adults.
That's real.
We expect our kids to know a lot of stuff, but hey, it's repetition, man. The more you do it, the repetition, and it get better over time. Because then now it goes back to allowing her to grow. Mm-hmm.
That's good, man. That's good. That's something that I'm gonna definitely take there, man. I wanna switch gears and go on to marriage, man. How long you been married?
14 years this year.
14.
Yes. That's probably one of the best decisions I have made.
Yeah.
For real, yeah.
Yes, sir, man. So how'd y'all meet, man? How'd y'all get this journey started?
Well, we both grew up in Chicago, and we worked for this agency called Maryville, where you work with at-risk youth. She worked at another site, and I worked at a site. But at times, we get redeployed over to this other site. So I met her from there, and then that's where it started. So we hit it off hard and went from there. And then, next thing you know, we was married.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So 2020, y'all here standing.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. We love our kids to death, but guess what? You got to find time for yourselves.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of couples where they put so much time into kids, they forget about one another. And once them kids get up and out the house, one of them leaving the house.
Yeah.
So you have to find ways to continue to build your relationships around your kids. Because at the end of the day, kids going to be kids. They going to play off you. They going to play off me. But how could we keep what we have strong? And it's all about being healthy. It's about communication, connecting, covering each other.
Yeah.
And I use that same concept when I'm talking to fathers. We have to communicate. If it's through a text, phone call, telling each other we love them, or letting each other know I don't like what you're doing. Could you work on that? That's the communication and connecting. How you connect with a hug, a kiss, or a little note or something in the morning on the pillow or something. You know what I'm saying? Just different things like that. And covering. That's when you bring the Lord into it, like you praying over one another.
Yeah. Doing
devotionals together. That's the most vital thing that you can do is put God first. In your relationship, because he's guiding. You just gotta do your part. He's gonna guide you, but are you doing your part?
Yeah.
Because everything it's all laid out, but are you willing to sacrifice, get rid of your old ways, and then come together as one? That's what it comes down to. But yeah, man, I wouldn't change. I think all the time about I'm thankful.
Yeah.
I could have been somewhere else, but finally, God hooked me up.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So how do y'all balance your time? Between work and the kids, marriage. How do you balance all of that and continue to keep everything afloat?
Well, I think with her job, she's busier than me, and with me, my job is kind of flexible.
Yeah.
So I think both parents can be working 45 hours a week.
Yeah.
So I think that one parent has to be that flexible parent. If they have a job that allow them to be flexible, but the job I have allowed me to be flexible. So just one is going to spend more time with the kids than the other.
Yeah.
But they understand. Mommy's working. Daddy's schedule a little flexible, but we also conversate about mommy too. I be intentional about, well, we know mommy can't be at this game or she can't be here, but she'll be here the next time. But also letting, even though she's not there at times, but letting them know, hey, your mom, she got this, she's working, she's doing this, but understanding that she's not there, but we thinking about her.
Yeah.
You know, just having that, because you have some parents like, oh man, your mom ain't here, but I'm here. No, we ain't competing here.
Yeah.
We trying to make this whole and healthy. So, you know, for the parents that's out there competing against the other parent, hey, at the end of the day, your kid's coming up short. There's no need to compete. How could you make this healthy, even when the other spouse is not there? So I think balancing that out, you know, when I'm with them most of the time, but also having family time.
Yeah.
You know, we're intentional about having family time. You know, even though we're busy throughout the weeks, but finding that time once a week where we do a family game or we sit down and do devotional together or whatever we can together. So you gotta have family time. That's vital.
Real. That's real, man. That's something else that I'm gonna take, because I think it's hard. I think I'm in that same position where I'm with the kids the most.
Yes.
And at times, you know, for me it's tiring. You know, like, oh my God, boy, I'm always with these kids.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm just so beat down by the time my wife get home. I'm just like, I'm trying to check out. You know, I'm just like, oh my God, I need some time to breathe.
Yes.
You know, and then it's like I don't be wanting to feel like I'm just pushing them on her, and it's like that dynamic, man. You know, being able to balance all of that, it's a hard thing, and I don't think a lot of people when they're not married, they don't understand that. You know, they, like, I always tell a lot of young guys, you know, this one young guy always asking me about marriage and telling me he ready to be married and this and that. I'm like, boy, you think marriage is so sweet, huh? You think just being a father is sweet because he sees, you know, stuff and posting on Facebook. Yeah. And I'm like, boy, this ain't sweet, man.
You don't see the behind the scenes stuff. You just see the stuff that's out there. You see the photos, but behind those photos, it's work being done. Yeah. You know, that people don't see. I mean, it's just like a true athlete. Yeah, you see somebody might hit 50 points. Yeah. But how did they get to that 50 point? They training, their IQ is up, whatever it is, it's work be done behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you ain't just going out there.
It's work to be done.
You gotta watch film, all that.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta really study it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think that's something that, you know I could work on, just really continuing to balance. Like, I think I do all right job, you know, between everything I got going on, but I'm like, you know, sometimes I feel like I put my marriage on the back burner. Yeah. You know, because of everything else, and I'm trying to make sure this is good. Yeah. But I'm like, you know, I think I could spend even more time with my wife. You know, I think I could, you know, take time out and do date nights.
Yeah, you know, most date nights are vital too, man. And that's, like I said, being intentional about what you do with a healthy relationship. You know, it might be dropping by for lunch. It might be sending her a text. It might be writing a little note. Like with my wife, I leave her notes on the mirror. Even though we up out the house 5 or 6 in the morning, she might be still asleep. But those little things she gonna see. I mean, writing a little note, put it on the windshield for you. Just those little things that real shit, babe. I'm thinking about you, but I know we busy. We passing each other, you know, in the morning. But the thing is, you gotta be intentional about those little things.
That's real.
You know, because the little things gonna turn to big things. So then you gotta think about, man, you know, if she's what you want in life, you gotta sacrifice. You gotta make that time. Because I wouldn't be where I'm at today without her. I'll guarantee you that.
That's
so
real.
Just understanding that. I mean, it takes a lot of sacrifice, but it takes a lot of commitment also.
That's real, man. I wanted to ask you about how important is it for, that your kids attend a school that gives them a biblical worldview?
Oh, that to me, that's vital. I didn't have it, but as I got older and I met different parents that, my kids go to a Christian school, they go to, then, you know, when we moved to Florida, you know, 7 years ago, we was able to land it here at The Rock. I mean, that's probably one of the most things, and most amazing things for my kids right now, to have God in their life and be the forefront of it, because at The Rock, we're teaching out the Bible. You know, we're teaching things in a godly manner. So for them to have that daily, that helps with parenting, that helps with your marriage, all that's keeping God first. But and then you having it at the school with the kids, Man, being a PE teacher, that I get to pray with the kids. Let them get chaotic. We at PE, everybody going bonkers. Hey, blow the whistle, we stop, we praying. Yeah. You can't do that in a public setting. So that's one of the things I enjoy doing. We know with my coworker, Coach Ken, to be able to stop class. On Friday we have this thing called worship walk where we had the kids walk around the gym. They must listen to 2 worship songs. On Friday. So they just bringing that biblical and also the gospel to school is great. I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world, to be able to pray and to be able to have Mr. McKenzie have chapel on Monday. Yeah. Man, the first right there, but on Monday we having chapel. So that's something to take you through the week. So I think that's vital.
Yeah. And my daughter loves that, man. The whole chapel stuff, man. And she comes home and she's like, she's always so excited about all of that, man. The chapel, and she'll tell me, "Oh, Daddy, we were in P and we listened to this song." Yeah. And I'm just like, man, I love it because, like I said, she went to, public school in kindergarten. Sure. And it was just different, Mm-hmm. Now she had a good experience because I think she had a really good teacher, but it's like it was just different now, to see her conversation after school is like a totally different thing. Mm-hmm. It's like she's either heard something that she has a question about, or she's telling me about songs that she heard or whatever, and I'm just like, man, I wouldn't change it for anything, man, because like I was telling you before we came on, I'm starting to realize that she's starting to really feel that conviction, really being convicted of her actions. And sometimes she'll come home and she's like, "Well, Daddy, I know I did this wrong yesterday, and and I just really prayed and asked God for forgiveness today, and Daddy, I'm just sorry," and all this stuff. And I'm like, hey, I can't ask for anything else,
No, not at all. Yeah.
And a lot of kids, especially 7-year-olds, ain't thinking about that. They're not thinking like that. And so I know that there's a work being done. I know that she's getting it. She's getting something because I can tell just by her conversation. So, man, it's definitely a blessing, man.
Hey, you just got to train them up the best as you can, Even with my boys, man, they hit them bumping Lecrae in Maverick City. All right. Oh, yes. I didn't have that growing up. We didn't have no Christian rap growing up. I mean, I hear Lecrae, so I catch myself, man. I'm listening to Lecrae. Bumping Maverick City. One of my favorite songs, Maverick City, Man of Your Word. Yeah. So I'm teaching them, you got to be a man of your word. You're going to do something. You say you're going to do it. Hey, make sure you make it happen. Because now I can throw it back. I thought you said you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But just using what we have, to the best of our ability. So, yeah.
That's real. Tell me about your fatherhood group, man. Be a Better Dad.
Well, initially started about 4 years ago. Started with a T-shirt, man. I had a T-shirt made that said, "Be a Better Father" on it. So it's almost like God was talking to me like, man, go out and meet all these fathers in the community. So I took this T-shirt and got over like 300 to 400 dads just to pose with me with this picture. Some of them put the shirt on, some of them held the shirt up, but that was a way of sitting there just to break the ice talk about fatherhood. As a father, do you feel supported? Do you feel like you're being the best dad you can? Just starting that conversation. So this one shirt started a conversation with so many people, man, and then from that point on, that's when it started. And so the initiative is a point where we try to equip and empower fathers to be better fathers.
That's real.
So, I mean, I think as males anyway, it's hard for us to sit down and be emotional and talk about things that's not going well for us. But, man, I done sat down and talked to so many fathers who cry while we just sitting here. Therapeutics, just here and talking to each other because they feel like they ain't doing fatherhood right. They father didn't treat them right. But, guys, you can break the cycle. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you went through this, but your kids don't have to go through this. Mm-hmm. And there's so many resources out there now that can help dads be better, not just only be a better dad, but be a better man. Yeah. Where your character at? What kind of decisions and choices are you making? You know what I'm saying? Are you mentoring other people? You know what I'm saying? I kind of catch myself at times talking about, I call them the rookie dads and the veteran dads because the rookie dads can learn from the veterans and also the veterans can learn from the rookie dads. So yes, sir. I just think it's all about sitting down, having those conversations about each other having the conversations about fatherhood and how important it is to be good fathers.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's such a struggle for men to actually sit down and open up with each other and really talk about those real issues?
I think it goes back to generations. I think their father didn't do it with them. So just like me and you sitting down, I mean, I'm always happy to hear a father.
Yeah.
If I see a father with his kids, I'm like, man, we winning.
Yeah.
Or having a conversation, sitting down with you, like, man, this made my day.
Yeah.
Knew it was coming in, you was gonna sit down and we talking about fatherhood. That's one of that's the top 3 on my list to talk about. You got marriage, you got fatherhood, and just about your career and your hobbies. But I think just having that conversation, you got to be intentional about it. Mm-hmm. Like I said before, you got to be all up in these kids. What you doing? What you listening to? Go. My thing is, I go lay down in bed in their room. Yeah. You got fathers, man, don't even step inside their kids' room. Mm-hmm. Man, you gotta go. I'm gonna go hang out. You come hang out in my room. I'm gonna come hang out in your room. Right. So you just gotta show them, and they appreciate that. They might, oh, daddy, why you doing it? My kids do not like me taking pictures of them, man. Man, I'm snapping all photos all I can. My 22-year-old, I always get it. Then I send it to her, because I'm all about creating memories.
That's real
for them, man. When my daughter was 3 years old, I started scrapbooking. Man, I ain't in my life I ain't never heard of male scrapbooking, but man, people's laughing, man, you scrapbook? Okay, but guess what? Scrapbooking to me is the most vital thing that you can do as a father, because guess what? Yes, you create memories. You have a photo where you write down different messages and different memories you created. So this is something that I can give them when they get older, something that they can show their kids. So
that's real.
Within all of them, each one of them have multiple scrapbooks from when they growing up to now. So I think that's vital. Having those conversations.
And I'll say that's so important because that's something that my mom did.
Yeah. Man,
my mom got everything. Report cards, school photos, just stuff from all type of stuff. If you go and look at once I finally, maybe a couple years ago, she finally was like, boy, come get your stuff and take it to your house. You got a wife, you got a family, come get your pictures and all this stuff, take it to your house. Yeah. I'm tired of housing it over here. Yeah. And man, I was so excited to go get it, and just going through all the pictures and showing my kids, this is when daddy, when he was 7. This is when I was 4. Yeah. Showing them my report cards and all of this stuff. She had like different awards we had gotten and just all types of stuff, man. And I still got all that stuff right now next to my bed. Every now and then the kids come in the room and go in there messing with stuff. And it just brings back those memories. And I thank God for my mother, man. She kept all that stuff. And she's always telling me the same thing. Boy, you need to make sure you have stuff for your kids. Oh, take them pictures. Go print the pictures out. Keep pictures so that, she's always on me about that type of stuff because, that was something that she did. Yeah. And, it is... When they get older, they're going to appreciate it, man.
Yeah, and that stuff like that's good conversation getters. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking to them about, man, when I was 7 years old, I used to do this. Yeah. I look like this. Look at my haircut. Now, they laughing, but you reminiscing on how you were when you were 7. So I think that's good conversation because they need to see that. They need to see, okay, this was in high school, kindergarten. Look what I drew when I was in kindergarten. Look what you drew. Yeah, yours better than mine, but guess what? I did it too. Yeah. But those laughable moments. I mean, you can't give them out. I mean, they there.
Yeah, man. I got the bald head now. Yeah, man. I showed them kids them pictures with me with that my afro and my braids. They like, Daddy, you had an afro. You had hair. I'm like, come on, man. Of course I had hair. My wife like, and he been losing that hair. I'm like, man, look at this picture right here. You know, and it just like you say, man. It's just It just creates those conversations in the home, and now, my kids are just out of nowhere, especially my daughter, she brings up stuff. Daddy, I'm thinking about that picture of you when you had the red hair. I'm like, man, nobody ain't trying to think about that.
Yeah, but she remembered that. No, that's special within itself because she's bringing that to you. Yeah. So that's why I said having those conversations, is vital.
That's real, man. But yeah, man, we got to get together and do something together, man, with the Be a Better Father. I am down to try to, we can try and plan something because I definitely want to collaborate.
Oh yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it too. Like I'm one of the things I've been talking to my coaches. We have 7 coaches on our Rock staff. I want to do something maybe in December where we invite. We can do it at the Rock Gym where we invite, sit down, with a table, whatever, how we want to do it. That we're comfortable, where we can just sit down and just talk about fatherhood. We got 7 fathers there, and then we got a very diverse coaching staff. So, from here, like Asian, white, black, some mixed with other coaches. But sit down and talk about fatherhood. Because at the end of the day, I think we all want our kids to be successful, but it's not a blueprint for it. Everybody's taking that different route, but trying to get to that same goal. So I think, that can be one to start with. And I love to do that, man. Whatever I can to do to help you, and that goes back to me thinking about how, as a community, we can have 20 father programs. Why can't all 20 fathers programs work together? Hey, it's not mine. This is God's thing.
Straight up.
He just got me directing and, moving it through. But I look forward to just sitting down, working with you. Because, it's more fathers out there we need to catch.
Yeah.
And there's fathers, if they want to consider it good fathers, bad fathers, but guess what? They can all be part of this. It's not us.
Yeah.
It's about bringing other fathers together and making it blossom and make it grow from there.
That's real, man. Mm-hmm. That's real. If you could give yourself, the 18-year-old version of yourself, any advice, just one piece of advice, what would you give him?
What do you mean give myself?
The 18-year-old version of you.
Okay.
18-year-old Ryan.
18-year-old Ryan. Probably just pay more attention to details.
Mm-hmm.
Not thinking that I know it all. I think we all, it's back to those teenage years. We think we know it all, but we don't. Mm-hmm. But I think God don't make mistakes. At the time, he had me thinking I knew it all, but I didn't. But, I think just understanding and instilling in the kids, you don't know it all. Wisdom, listening to Proverbs, reading through Proverbs, wisdom is the key.
Mm-hmm.
Going through certain things is the key, and I think with that, with that being said, it's just like, make sure I'm just paying attention. Now, listen to the older people,
Mm-hmm.
Older fathers, the younger fathers, the older male, younger male. Listen to everybody. Just because they're older, don't mean they're right.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a younger father can be like, man, I didn't even look at it like that. Because you've been so far away from having a 3-year-old that now you got a 22-year-old, now you got a teenager, then a 4th grader. Like, man, that's why you got to have those conversations with fathers. And that's one thing about being a better father. It's not just about black fathers. I welcome all fathers from all walks of life because we all fathers.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? So how can we as a whole be better fathers, be better men to our kids? So I think just making sure just pay attention more to details. If I can rewind back to 18.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, it's like, hey, I'm where I'm at now because I didn't listen to some stuff I did take in. So, I just, like I always say, make peace with my pieces.
Yeah. So give one more, one piece of advice to a young father out there that might be listening. If you could speak to him and give them anything about raising their children, one thing that you would tell a young father out there listening.
And you can't do it alone. Conversate, talk to somebody. Mental health is serious out here. I think as fathers, we think we always doing the right thing, and don't need help. I welcome all kind of help. People, like I'm picking up the phone. Yeah. Hey, coach, I don't know this. Because that's a resource. So that my thing is the best advice I can give a young father. Use your resources. Mm-hmm. I just have this ability to link people together, man. And I think that comes from just utilizing resources. If the resource ain't for me, hey, that resource may be for you. Mm-hmm. So I think just reach out, you utilize your resources in your community. It's the reason we have resources in our community. Mm-hmm. Why let that resource die when we know multiple fathers in our community need that resource? So just let these young people, hey, go get it. Don't be ashamed. Hey, we all gonna fail. Ain't no book on fathering. So use your resources.
Yeah.
If it's male or female, I'm going after that resource because guess what? I have kids that I need to be better. I need to be a better man, a better father, if I need certain resources from therapy to whatever, hey, I'm gonna utilize that.
Yes,
you know, that's gonna make me a better person. I can't be my best person if my kid's over here failing. So how I'm growing as a father, you got to grow mentally, physically, and spiritually. I got to keep that going. I just can't stop it. That's you know, right. So keep those three up front. You know, I think that'll be fine. Just resources and keep God first and all that.
Straight up.
You keep God first and all that. He gonna take care of you, but you got to be disciplined about what you do and let some things go.
Yes, sir. That's real, man. Hey, if y'all listening, take heed.
That's it.
That's a key.
Yeah.
I want your picks real quick, man.
Okay.
We got college basketball starting tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
NBA starting next month.
Yeah.
I need your picks, man.
Okay. Who you want to start with?
Let's start with that college basketball.
Well, college basketball, I always like. Let me see my boy out in Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett and his team out there. You know, I like Tony Bennett due to the fact that Christian guy does things by the book. So, you know, I see them and I see Duke.
Duke, okay.
Yeah, I mean, Duke is always out there. But I like Tony Bennett and his squad, you know. So I got those two, the top two. For this year.
Okay. I'm rolling with Nova, baby.
Nova?
Villanova, baby.
Yeah.
I hope they do something. I hope they do something, man.
But you know, Jay Wright always doing it right. I mean, he don't get all those 5-star players. He get what he get, and he make him go, make him run through the wall for him. So yeah, I think Nova up there somewhere. Yeah.
And what you after all this crazy free agency stuff that happened, man? What you think about the NBA?
I mean, it's a no-brainer. You can't go against LeBron.
Yeah.
I mean, what they just added to the table, man, they might as well give him the trophy now.
Might as
well.
Them
boys stay healthy. It's been another wrap. It's been a wrap.
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, he's the greatest player playing right now. And if these guys understand, in order to be great, you got to be able to play with somebody that's great. So, I mean, I think LeBron them got another trophy ahead of them. So, yeah.
Yeah. Sadly, I got to agree with you, man.
Oh, yeah.
Sadly, see, I've always been a Sixers fan.
Okay.
And we look like we might do a little something this year, but with what them Lakers did, man, I'm like, man, you can get them boys the trophy, man. I can't see anybody beating. I can't see it.
You know how sometimes people say, look at it on paper. Hey, I mean, that paper got the right formula on it. You know, so, I mean,
Yes, sir, man. But, hey, man, for all of the listeners out there, we appreciate y'all. It's a wrap. This is my man, Ryan Jones. Tell them how they can find you on social media.
Well, R. Jones Mentoring on Instagram. And also we got Be a Better Father Facebook page out there. So get a chance, check in with us. You know, I think maxed out maybe about 3,500 viewers right now that's committed to the Facebook page. So we're looking to add more fathers.
Yes, sir.
You know, so you're out there, reach out, and we go from there, you know.
Yes, sir. That sounds like a plan. Y'all go and follow Be a Better Dad on Facebook and find them at R. Jones Mentoring on Instagram. Y'all go and follow him, man. If you got any questions, hit him up, man. Feel free. Any men out there, y'all know if you need help, you got questions, anything, man, y'all can always find me on Facebook at Anthony Richard Ray, or find me on Dad Can We Talk on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you see that at. Please reach out, man, or you can reach out to this man on his Be a Better Dad page. Please reach out, fathers. If you need help, if you need fellowship, you need community, please reach out, man. It's very important for us, especially in this time, to be in communion with one another, because it's very important. No one should be alone right now. No one should feel like they don't have any avenues or outlets to be able to pour out to another man. You know, if it ain't nobody else you can talk to, please, I'm here, please. And I make that known, and I don't take it lightly when I know another father is going through it, man. So, and I'm more than sure this man here has the same, shares the same sentiments. So, please reach out. But for all y'all that are listening, man, we definitely appreciate y'all for taking this time out of your day to listen to this podcast. Continue to stay tuned. I still got plenty of dads that are coming. I got them.
Yes,
I got them coming. So y'all continue to stay tuned. I ain't running out. I know too many of them out here, man. So y'all continue to stay tuned, man. It's Dad Can We Talk. We are out.